Department of the Liberia Broadcasting From the News Department of the Liberia Broadcasting System in Painesville, good evening and welcome to Newsline. One full hour of the most captivating news events taking place in Liberia and the rest of the world. Today is Thursday, July 11, 2024. I'm Alpha Rogers, anchoring. In the headlines tonight, President Joseph Boakai breaks silence on the controversial yellow machines, clarifies that the equipment were provided by one of his friends. United Nations Resident Coordinator Christine Omotoni praises Liberia as a compliant country of World Population Census framework. The Liberia National Police sacks Officer Ishmael Traore for reportedly killing a 17-year-old minor in Painesville Rehab Community. In Burkina Faso, the military junta announces ban on homosexual acts, making it the latest African state to crack down on same-sex relations despite strong opposition from Western powers. Also coming up is a commentary titled The Launch of the National Agricultural Development Plan, a Call for Action. Details of these interesting stories, Newsline Sports, the news in French, plus more, all coming up. But first, we take a bulletin of news read for us by Fabien Quia.
President Joseph Boakai has clarified that the yellow machines recently brought in the country were provided by one of his friends. In a letter to plenary Thursday, President Boakai said no formal agreement has been reached regarding the yellow machines and its importation. He added that no public fund has been utilized and that government did not pay a dime for the shipment cost. The Liberian leader maintained that the negotiations failed to yield a mutually beneficial agreement. The supplier retains the right to reclaim the equipment. The clarification comes amid widespread public outcry over the procurement processes leading to the importation of the controversial earth-moving equipment. Meanwhile, President Boakai has assured the legislature of doing nothing to circumvent the laws for any reason. He said once the negotiations are concluded and a formal agreement is reached, the executive will promptly submit the necessary documents for ratification. President Joseph Boakai has called for a comprehensive and coordinated approach in tackling the fight against HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria in the country. President Boakai believes through coordinated approach, the GC7 grant will enhance the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment efforts for the three diseases. He said government will also implement innovative strategies to reach key populations, reduce stigma and discrimination, and promote community engagement and ownership of health initiatives. President Boakai said his administration will prioritize interventions to ensuring every child born in Liberia has the opportunity to grow up healthy and HIV-free. The Liberian leader also pledged to strengthen the capacity of diagnostic centers to ensure all individuals with TB are identified and treated. At the same time, the Charge d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy, Catherine Roger-Guez, says the signing of the grant represents a significant milestone in Liberia's journey towards a healthier future. Madam Roger-Guez said it also signals the country's readiness in strengthening its efforts to curbing the lingering dangers associated with malaria, HIV, and tuberculosis. The U.S. envoy extolled Global Fund and other partners for the grant, which aim at strengthening the partnership and shared commitment of the United States to improving the lives of Liberians. She, however, re-echoed the U.S. government's stance on the transparent and accountable use of funds intended to strengthen the healthcare delivery system of Liberia. Madam Roger-Guez also urged stakeholders, civil society organizations, and the legislature to play a key role in the effective implementation of the project. Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn says government will use evidence-based research data to address the socio-economic challenges confronting Liberians. Vice President Kuhn says such research data will be used to implement government's arrest agenda. The Liberian Vice President disclosed The data will take into consideration the rights of women and young people in all sectors to build foundation for a better future. Vice President Kuhn said he will work along with the legislature to ensure the laws and policies passed include the elderly and people living with disabilities, among others. He spoke Thursday in Congotown at the launch of the 2024 State of the World Population Report by government and UNFPA. United Nations Resident Coordinator Christine Yumotoni has praised Liberia for the conduct of the 2020 National Census in line with the United Nations framework. Madam Yumotoni said Liberia is on the right trajectory as the framework is a fundamental priority to achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goal.
To strengthen capacities to implement the 2020 round of population and housing census as a fundamental priority for achieving sustainable development goals. And I'm glad that Liberia is one of those countries that has done its census.
She said despite the challenges, Liberia successfully conducted 2 population and housing census, including 1 agriculture census over the past years. At the same time, UNFPA resident representative Bidisha Pelia said World Population Day is to ensure that the data system captures full range of human diversity. Madam Pelia spoke Thursday in Congotown at the launch of the 2024 State of the World Population Report by the Liberian government and the UNFPA. The Liberian National Police has dismissed and charged with negligence homicide Officer Ishmael Chorale for reportedly killing a 16-year-old minor in Rehab, Pinsville. Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman told a news conference in Monrovia Thursday that the force used by Officer Chorale was not proportional or necessary. He said that deceased did not pose any threat to the officer to have been bullet in the chest.
The investigation, they recommended that Corporal Charlie be immediately dismissed. The dismissal has been approved by me, and the CID have charged Corporal Charlie with negligent homicide, and he will be forwarded to court to face the law.
Inspector Coleman assured the public that the LMP will not shield any of its officers wrongfully discharging foes and injuring citizens. The police IG then expressed profound sadness for the death of little James Candy and assured the family of ensuring that justice prevails. Liberia Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Authority Director General Christopher Sankolo is proposing a strong policy measure to protect the country's forests. Mr. Sankolo said this is critical to preserve Liberia's forests from deforestation and human activities in the wake of climate change. He was speaking Thursday in Monrovia at a one-day public stakeholders engagement on the EU deforestation regulations.
Whether the EU DRR or not, we should consider it as a Liberia's project to save our forests and save ourselves and save our children.
The engagement is part of efforts to ensure Liberian products, mainly cocoa, coffee, and palm oil, are in compliance with international business regulations. Under the EUDR, certain products or agricultural commodities exported to European markets will have to meet new rules relating to land, ensuring the forests are not cut down. Government has confirmed the resignation of Finance Minister Boyman Kamara. Information Minister Jerry Limekpia said President Joseph Boyka accepted the Finance Minister's resignation recently. The confirmation followed several media reports that Minister Kamara resigned due to health complications.
I want to confirm to you that yes, the Minister of Finance tendered his resignation. That resignation has been accepted by the President. The President and the entire government are grateful to Mr. Kamara for his role played.
Minister Kamara, who served government for 6 months, was appointed as Finance Minister in January by President Joseph Boyka. Meanwhile, President Boyka has appointed Anthony Marias acting Finance Minister. And the head of Global Fund Africa and Middle East, Catafal So says the organization is committed to supporting Liberia in building a sustainable health system in the country. Madam So said the Global Fund support to Liberia is key to preparing the country for potential pandemic. She noted that the organization will also facilitate government's effort in the fight against HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria.
Fabian Quia and the news bulletin. She returns a little later. That's when you listen to the foreign news. This is Newsline on State Radio. One of the big stories we're following tonight. United Nations Resident Coordinator Christine Omotuni praises Liberia as compliant country of World Population Census framework. Today's one now, the government of Liberia and Global Fund have signed a grant of over 100 million United States dollars to strengthen the fight against HIV, malaria, and TB. The grant will augment government strides in finding amicable solutions to the numerous challenges confronting the health sector. The activities will be implemented by the Ministry of Health and supervised by Plan International and other development partners. Fasta Talu was at the ceremony